Bacteria, the bad, the good, and the new frontiers. The bad. An innocent cow walks around a grassy field. What could possibly be wrong with this picture? Why do cows, what do cows do besides walk, eat, drink, and moo? Hold on to that question. E. coli, as it is generally known, is one of the most common bacteria on Earth. These bacteria are found in the intestines of all warm-blooded animals, including humans, and in soil, rivers, lakes, and beach sand. Most strains of E. coli are benign, which means harmless. One particular strain of E. coli 0157H7, lives quite comfortably in the intestines of cows, and the cows don't mind this at all. It's not too hard to figure out how E. coli 0157H7 gets into lakes and soil, and sometimes into hamburger meat. Unfortunately, this strain of E. coli that is harmless to cows is potentially deadly for humans. We use water quality tests to look for bacteria like E. coli to make sure that our water isn't contaminated, and we process meat so that the cow's intestinal bacteria don't end up on the meat sold in the grocery store. Many different kinds of bacteria normally live in the human body and cause no problem. But when the number of one kind of bacteria gets large, or the balance of the different kinds of bacteria changes, there can be problems. Bacteria were responsible for about 40% of foodborne illnesses between the years 2006 and 2010. In addition to E. coli, other bacteria have also been responsible for food poisoning episodes. They include Listeria in hot dogs, deli meat and cantaloupes, Salmonella in eggs, peppers, turkey, and products containing peanuts, and Staphylococcus in meat. Every year, about 3,000 people in the United States die, and another 128,000 people end up in the hospital because of foodborne illnesses. This costs our economy about $7 billion. That is why it is so important to cook meat thoroughly, drink juice that has been pasteurized, and wash fresh fruits and vegetables before eating them. Bacteria are harmful to humans when they damage or kill human cells in large numbers, or in some way prevent the cells from functioning. Bacteria can damage cells by releasing toxins either directly into nearby cells or into the bloodstream to reach cells and tissues in other parts of the body. Bacteria can use dead cells as a food source. This is called a bacterial infection. Bacteria that are most harmful to humans can reproduce quickly and overwhelm the immune system. Bacteria have caused disease in humans throughout history. They have killed off entire populations and caused more deaths than wars. But what are some of the worst bacterial outbreaks in history? Well, there's the Black Death, or plague, is caused by Yersinia pestis. It is carried by the fleas on small animals like rats, or transmitted from one person to another. Plague is estimated to have killed more than half the human population of Europe in the 1300s. Tuberculosis, also called TB, is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It spreads from one person to another through the air and attacks the lungs. In 17th century Europe, TB killed about 1 in every 7 people. Today, it still kills more than 2 million people per year worldwide. It is becoming resistant to existing treatments, meaning that outbreaks might become worse in the future. Rickettsia prowazekii causes typhus and is transmitted by lice. Outbreaks of typhus sometimes changed the outcome of wars and thus history, and have been responsible for the death of millions. Vibrio cholerae is carried by contaminated food and water. It causes cholera, which leads to intense diarrhea and vomiting. One of the worst outbreaks in U.S. history happened in the 1800s. It started in India and eventually appeared in New York, and in New Orleans, Louisiana. From there, it spread westward as settlers traveled the Oregon Trail. While now rare in the United States, cholera still kills more than 100,000 people each year around the world, especially in developing countries and areas struck by natural disasters, such as Haiti after the 2010 earthquake. One disease you might have heard of in the news recently is Lyme disease. It is caused by Borrelia burgdorferi bacteria, and it spreads to humans by deer ticks. A bullseye rash is characteristic of the disease. It is one of the fastest growing infectious diseases in the United States, though as of 2012, it is mostly found in the Northeast and upper Midwest. While bacterium that causes Lyme disease has been around for a long time, climate change, cutting down trees, and houses in areas that have a lot of deer ticks have all contributed to the increase of the disease. Bacteria may seem scary, but humans have some help in the form of medicines that can kill many types of harmful bacteria. These medicines are called antibiotics. Anti means against, and bio means life, and have been effective in eliminating or controlling many disease-causing bacteria. Antibiotic resistance. One of the big problems facing us today is that some harmful bacteria are becoming resistant to these traditional antibiotics. Resistant means that antibiotics can't kill off these bacteria completely. One example is Staphylococcus aureus, the bacteria that causes most hospital infections. Methicillin is a strong antibiotic used to treat these infections. In recent years, this bacterium has become increasingly resistant to methicillin. Another example is multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. How do bacteria become resistant to antibiotics? Some individuals in a population of bacteria are naturally resistant, and when a population of bacteria is exposed to an antibiotic, those that are resistant survive to reproduce. All of the offspring are resistant. Additionally, mutations and gene sharing via plasmids can help bacteria survive when exposed to antibiotics. Mutations, random changes in genetic material, occur naturally as bacteria reproduce. Bacteria can also gain new genes when they share genetic material with other bacteria. Even bacteria from a different species, when we overuse antibiotics or use them incorrectly, it is possible that we unintentionally increase the survival rate of resistant bacteria. The good. We've been focusing on the bad, but in reality, without bacteria, Earth would probably not be a very nice place to live. Bacteria are decomposers, which means that they break down dead organisms, and waste into water, gases, and minerals. Can you imagine an Earth buried in dead things? Without bacteria, that's what it would be like. Bacteria change nitrogen in the air into a form that plants can use to grow and flourish, and are essential in maintaining the ecological balance of the planet. Bacteria make chemicals that humans use for other purposes. Botulinum is a deadly toxin produced by the bacteria Clostridium botulinum, but one form of the toxin can be injected into muscles in the face, smoothing out wrinkles. So this is like Botox. The toxin is also used to treat people with severe muscle cramps, saving them from terrible pain. Scientists are developing ways to modify bacteria to make them produce chemicals that are useful medicines. E. coli is being genetically modified to produce chemicals like insulin and human growth hormone, which are useful in medicine. And oil-eating bacteria can help break down environmentally harmful oil spills. Speaking of breaking things down, the community of bacteria and other organisms living in human intestines is necessary for digestion of food. The bacteria in your digestive tract make some of the vitamins we need and help us ward off other bacteria that might make us sick. Scientists think that because we humans have changed the variety of food we eat, we've changed the diversity of bacteria living inside of us. These changes in the bacterial community could contribute to weight gain and obesity. Bacteria also help make some of the foods we eat. They are used to make salami, pepperoni, sour cream, chocolate, cider, soy sauce, pickles, coffee, vinegar, yogurt, cheese, hot sauce, kimchi, poi, and sourdough bread, to name a few examples. Bacteria are also used to make thickening agents for sauces and salad dressings and in gluten-free baking. The new frontiers. What lies ahead for those trying to learn more about bacteria, the most abundant organisms on Earth? Currently, the most common species of bacteria on Earth is thought to be E. coli. It is perhaps the most studied organism on Earth. E. coli grows easily in the lab and reproduces rapidly about every 20 minutes. This means that scientists can document its evolution, which is a change in species over time, without waiting for millions of years. E. coli has helped us understand how proteins in our own body are made, how cells age, how DNA is organized, and how genes work. The science of microbiology plays a role in almost every field of science, and much of our microbial world is yet to be discovered and understood. As our ability to find and distinguish different bacteria increases, so too will the number of known species. And as the number of known species increases, perhaps we'll find other bacteria more common than E. coli. Or perhaps there are bacteria to be discovered on other planets, moons, or other objects in the solar system. There's plenty of opportunity for a career in this fascinating field.